Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga. And this month, in the month of April, we're working on finding strength. So we have some strengthening exercises that we're going to do with a yoga strap. So if you have one of those, pretty essential that you get one today. If you don't have a strap, go run get a necktie or a scarf out of your closet, or even just a little hand towel so that you've got something that's, about this long or so that you can use for these exercises. We're also going to be stretching our shoulders and our neck quite a bit today with the yoga strap as well. You might need a block or a little cushion or some padding for your knees and something to sit on. So let's just come to a nice comfortable seat this morning to begin. And we'll just start to center and focus on the breath and on the length of our spine. And just close your eyes for a moment and come into the present place. Not worrying about the past or the future, just being in this present moment. And check in on your body today. Are there any areas that you are protecting, that you've injured, or that might be feeling a little sore or stiff today? Just bring your awareness to those areas, whether it's the neck, the shoulders, the back, the knees, the hips. And give yourself permission to modify any exercises appropriately for you. This is an all levels class done from the comfort of your own home. So feel free to expand the poses any way you'd like, or retract from the poses any way you'd like today as well. So blink your eyes open with a soft gaze, or you can keep them closed and just listen to the sound of my voice. Hands are just resting gently on your knees. And we'll take the right ear towards the right shoulder, lengthening the left side of your neck. Then slowly roll your chin down towards your chest and lengthen the back of your neck. Pull your head back up to the neutral and reverse, tipping the left ear towards the left shoulder. Slowly rolling the chin down towards your chest and coming back to center. So this will be a pattern of movements that we'll do through several of our poses today with different positions of our arms. So take your hands out in front of you and cross your right wrist on top of your left. Turn your palms to meet and interlace your fingers together. Press your knuckles forward and drop your shoulder blades down. Then tip your right ear towards your right shoulder. Slowly roll the chin down towards your chest. And then lift that head back up to neutral. Tipping left ear, left shoulder. Roll down. And come back up to center. We'll switch the cross of the wrists. So now the left wrist on top of the right. Interlace your hands. Might have a different grip this time. Press your shoulder blades down. Push your knuckles forward. Tip the right ear, right shoulder. Roll down, chin towards the chest, stretching the back of the neck and opening up the shoulder blades. Head comes back up. Left ear, left shoulder. Rolling down. And back up to neutral. Take the hands and open out into goal pose. So you're pulling those elbows back behind you. Tip the right ear, right shoulder. Roll down. And coming back up. Other side. So you might just notice different sensations with this simple flow of movements with our arms in different positions. Now we'll take the right arm and cross it on top of the left. You can either hug your shoulders here or wrap your arms into an eagle stretch. Tip the right ear. Roll down, chin to chest. Back to neutral. Left ear. Roll down. And neutral. As you inhale, unwrap your arms, take a big breath. Exhale, cross the right or left arm on top this time, either holding here or wrapping an eagle. Right ear. Roll down. And up. Left side. And back to center. Unwrap those arms one more time. Breathe in. And then as you breathe out, just relax your hands down. You can close your eyes for a moment and just notice the sensations you're feeling after that very easy warm up for the shoulders, the neck, and the upper back. And then we'll take our yoga strap, or whatever you have for that. And I have it looped, so I actually have it connected at the top, but if you've got something you can just loop, make a little loop. We're going to use this loop today for cow face pose instead of gripping and holding on to our strap. So what I want you to do is take that yoga strap in your right hand and then bring it behind your back. You're going to take your left wrist and just feed it through the loop and let your wrist dangle. So you're not using your left arm at all. And then use this right arm to pull up a little bit until you feel a gentle stretch through that left shoulder. And then you can start to walk your hand on the right side down your yoga strap a little bit so that you have a really nice cow face stretch here. Right elbow is up. Left arm is internally rotated. And on this first time we're doing this pose, I don't want you to go super deep. This is just a very, very easy cow face. And then we'll take a little side bend over to the left, opening up the left ribs, or right ribs, opening up the right ribs, and then come back up, side bend the other direction. And just breathe as you move back and forth through lateral flexion of the spine. Inhaling and exhaling, and really relax that left shoulder. My hand on that left side is just relaxed into the loop of the yoga strap. Last stretch over to the right. Then come back to center. And very carefully let that hand come out of the strap, unwind it, and we'll switch sides. So the loop of your yoga strap goes behind you. The right hand feeds through the loop so that your wrist or your forearm is just relaxing in the loop, and then pull up gently with the left arm. And then start to creep that left hand down your yoga strap until you find just a very easy stretch here. Not too deep. And notice how that right shoulder might feel a little different from the left. And we'll side bend over to the right side first. And come up. And side bend to the left. Now try not to drop your chin towards your chest, and anytime you have a hand behind your head, as in this position, you might have a tendency to drop your head forward. So just keep pressing that head back into your wrist or your forearm. And pull your abdominals in as you laterally flex your spine. And let's go one more time each direction. And then come back to center. Very carefully release, unwinding that right arm and bring it back to the front. So these movements we're going to be doing as we're standing in some warrior poses. We're going to do it without the yoga strap so that we can just move through whatever range of motion is feeling good for us today. So let's transition to standing. And then just come to a nice mountain pose with your feet maybe hips distance apart. Pull those shoulders back. And then we'll be stepping into a very short stance warrior one. So bringing your right foot forward, step your left foot back just a bit, not a big stance, and slightly turn out that left foot. But have your shoulders and your hips squared to the front. Now we're going to be focusing on this left arm. So your right arm can go to your hip. With the left arm, reach it up and turn your thumb out. So you have your pinky finger in, your thumb out, and your palm is facing the back of the room behind you. And then as you lower that arm, turn your wrist the other way and push behind you with your pinky finger out and your thumb towards the inside midline of your body. So as we breathe in, the arm lifts, the thumb rotates out. And as we breathe out, the arm pushes back and the thumb is in. And just find whatever range of motion is good for you in this left arm and left shoulder. So if you have any issues with raising your arm all the way up, you can be right in here and pressing back. And let's do one more. Lift and rotate and push back. Now, as the arm comes forward, bend your elbow, put your hand behind your head, and lift your elbow up. And then as you release, turn your thumb in and reach your hand behind your back. It's like that cow face position, right? So right or left arm comes up. We bring it behind the head. We lift that elbow up. And then we press back and internally rotate, stretching your shoulder. One more time with just the arm movement. And you are moving at whatever pace really suits your body so that you're mindful with each of these movements. Now, as that left arm comes up, bring the hand behind the head and slightly lift your chin and take a baby back bend. So you're lifting up the heart. And then release that arm. And as you bring it behind your back, the right ear tips to the right shoulder. Roll the chin down to the chest. And bring the head back to neutral. We'll do that series twice more. Inhale, reach, bend the elbow, baby back bend. And then bring that arm behind you, inwardly rotate, tip the right ear to the right shoulder, roll down, head comes back to neutral. One more time, inhale, reach, baby back bend, and then exhale, bring that arm behind you, tip the right ear, right shoulder, roll down, and bring that head back to neutral. Release the arms, step forward into mountain pose, and just check in. See how that all felt for this left shoulder, neck, and upper back and chest muscles. And we'll reverse. So a short stance warrior one with the left foot in front. We're making sure that we're tracking the knee in nice alignment over the foot, and both your shoulders are squared forward as well as your hips. Left hand can be at your hip, and I like that rather than hanging your arm down, because whenever we hang it down, this shoulder wants to roll forward. So if you put your hand on your hip, you can pull your elbow back and keep this nice and broad through your chest. So just the arm first. As you inhale, reach up and turn your thumb out. Your pinky is inward. And as you exhale, turn your wrist so your palm faces back and your thumb is in. Breathe in, rotate out. And breathe out, rotate in. Now, really important whenever we lift our arm up that we don't let our shoulder blade lift up. So I want you to feel a nice connection in the muscles of your back, in those lats, so that your shoulder blade stays down while you're doing this action. And fire up your core, abs really engaged. Let's do one more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now breathe in, reach that hand behind your head, no back bend yet, just lift your elbow. And then bring it back and rotate that arm behind your back. We'll do that twice more so you just get the feel of where you can go with this arm. Good, 2 more. And just make this yours. Make it yours in terms of speed of movement and range of motion. Good. Now we add the last piece. So breathe in, bring that hand behind, extend your chin up, take a baby back bend. Come back up. The arm comes behind your back. We tip the left ear towards the left shoulder. Roll the chin down to the chest. Bring the head to neutral. Inhale, reach. Back bend. Now that's just an option. If you prefer not to do the back bend, that's fine. And notice how adding on this extra bit of work really challenges your balance and stability in your legs, in your warrior one. So we're stable through the feet, strong through the thighs and hips, and of course the abdominals and back muscles. And 2 more. Reach up. Extend the spine. Left ear. And 1 more time. Does this not feel amazing? And bring it behind. And then release that arm and step back into your mountain pose. Maybe roll the shoulders a couple of times. And then just check in. Make sure everything is feeling good in your shoulders. And then either with feet hips distance apart or close together, we're going to come into a chair pose with the arms forward and a slight rounding through our arms. And I want you to tense these muscles of your chest like you're going to hug a tree. And then as you inhale, come up out of chair and expand your chest and pull your arms behind you. Exhale, hug the tree and open. When you come up and open, you can add that little bit of a baby back bend if you'd like. Expand, lift the heart, but keep your abs really engaged. Whenever we come into a back bend, that's very small to start, just to make sure it feels okay for your spine, your lower back, your neck. We're building strength in those legs with this standing pose. And we've got 1 more repetition here. And then just hold your chair pose, allow your hands to press together into our Namaste Anjali Mudra. 2 more breaths. Weight is back in those heels. 1 more breath. And then press up out of the legs. Okay, find your yoga strap, and we're going to be using it for some isometric work in the upper back, some retraction of the shoulder blades. So I want you to hold it at about shoulders width apart, out in front of you, but not way up here. So a little bit lower than your shoulder blades. And then slightly rotate your thumbs up. So I'm pulling the strap out a little bit. So what this does is it rotates my elbow creases up towards the ceiling. So I want you to pull out on this yoga strap and then bring your elbows behind you, and this yoga strap comes right to your chest. Your shoulder blades are together, elbows are close to your body, and then bring it forward. So this is a practice round for Chaturanga. So if we don't rotate our thumbs up and our elbow creases up and we're here, this is going to look like this. And sometimes that's what our Chaturanga looks like. And there's not as much stabilization in your shoulder. If you do a Chaturanga out like this, your shoulder eventually over time isn't going to like that. So with rotating those elbow creases up, pulling back and almost brushing the insides of your arms on your rib cage. Now try not to let any hunching happen. So we're really drawing shoulder blades down. We're pulling the strap apart and squeezing your shoulder blades together. 2 more repetitions. And 1 more. And come center and relax the strap down. So we are going to try that from our hands and knees, our basic modified Chaturanga. So come on down. If you need any padding for your knees, you can place your blanket or fold your mat a little bit. So again, if we have our hands out here on the floor, we want to turn our elbow creases up towards the ceiling a little bit. And if that means you need to slightly rotate your hands out on the floor, that's okay to do that with a little tiny bit of rotation. And then those elbows are going to come right next to you as we do a modified Chaturanga. So come down onto the hands and knees. You can walk your knees back any amount, pull your elbows in, face the elbow creases forward, and let's just do a small one. Bend those elbows and press up. So I want you to explore the range of motion that feels good for you. You don't need to come all the way down to get the benefit of building strength in your shoulders and triceps by learning this movement and taking small bites with it. Now, I want to combine this with a child's pose. So as you press up, extend your arms out in front of you and reach back behind to get a nice stretch through the lats. Then as you inhale, come back forward. Keep your elbow creases forward as you bend your elbows down into that baby Chaturanga. Push up and send those hips back into child's pose. So on the breath, we inhale to come forward. Exhale to bend your elbows any amount. Inhale to press up. And exhale to lengthen back. 3 more repetitions, flowing this movement at your own pace. Keep squeezing your elbows in towards your ribs. 2 more. Building strength and flexibility in the wrists, in the shoulders, and the triceps. Now think about that nice neutral head position as well. And 1 more. And then holding that child's pose, stretch. You can keep your arms extended into Utthita Balasana, or you can bring your arms next to the sides of your body and just relax those shoulders. Every time we complete a series, we want to check back in just to make sure our body's handling these poses, feeling pretty good. Let's take one more breath here in child's pose. And then pull yourself up. Extend the arms out nice and long to prepare for down dog. Now, if we move this to the next level and you're feeling like that is too challenging to go up to down dog and high plank, you're going to do the same one we just did, our baby chaturanga from the knees into our child's pose. It's a great strength builder. Okay, if you're ready to take it up to the next level, let's tuck our toes, lift the hips up, and come into a downward facing dog. Now, if we come from down dog into plank, ideally we never have to adjust our feet. So if you come down into plank and you feel like your hands are way back behind you, walk your hands forward a little bit until you're in a good high plank. And then as you push back to down dog, you never move your feet. You just extend through your shoulders and press your heels down. And many of us, we want to get our heels to the floor. So what happens is we come to plank and then we push up to down dog and we want to scoot our feet forward. But then when we go to plank, we're all miscombobulated. So if we want our poses to flow nicely, ideally we don't move those feet. We just find that place where we come forward to plank and we press back to down dog. Or you're going kneeling plank to child's pose. Now let's add a baby chaturanga, making sure those elbow creases are facing forward. Bend your elbows any amount. Press up and back to down dog or child's pose. So what if this one's too hard, but the other one's too easy? I have a middle of the road option for you. So if you want to do middle of the road, come forward to high plank. Let your knees find the mat briefly for your chaturanga. Then as you push up, lift your knees back up and push up to your down dog. It makes that chaturanga a little bit more accessible for you if you let your knees just come down, bend elbows, push up, and send it back. Let's do two more. And it's okay if you're doing the one to child's pose. We're building strength wherever we are in our yoga practice. One more. I'm feeling those muscles getting fatigued now. And then let's bend those knees, drop them down to the mat. Take a child's pose and relax your arms and shoulders. If you need a little stretch for your wrists here after having been on your hands for a while, you can just move them back and forth or circle them around. And just open and close the hands. So from our child's pose, we'll step forward with the right leg. So you can either do it from your knees right here, just take a step, or if you like to come back into down dog, you can lift that leg up and then take a big step forward. So with this lunge, you have two options. The back knee can be down onto the floor, down onto your mat, or we can keep this leg lifted. And then if you need a yoga block underneath your left hand, you can place that there. And then we'll open up into a twist to the right side. Rotate your thumb and bring your arm behind your back. Reach it back up. And then come out of the twist. So 4 movements. Inhale to reach. Exhale to reach that arm behind your back. Inhale, the arm comes back up. Exhale, lower down. 3 more on this side. Breathe up. Breathe out. Breathe in and out. 2 more. Be very kind to your shoulder here. Make sure this feels okay for you. Inwardly rotate, pull those shoulder blades back. Building strength in the legs, holding that lunge. One more time. And come down. So if you're up off the back knee, let's just set it down. Shift back into a hamstring stretch. You can also keep the back knee lifted and stretch your hamstring here. A little bit of a modified pyramid pose. Hands can be up on your block, or even if you have a chair accessible or the wall close to you in your room, you can bring your hands up on a higher surface. And then we'll switch legs in our lunge. So you can either step back to down dog, or you can step forward into forward bend to switch, whichever one you like, and enjoy transitioning. And then find your lunge here with the left foot in front. Option for that knee to come down to your mat. Right hand can be up on a block or just up on the fingertips. Not a lot of weight into that right arm. We'll inhale to reach the left arm up. Exhale to rotate it behind your back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower out of the twist. Stretch up. Rotate back and pull your top shoulder back to increase the twist. Reach up and down. 3 more repetitions. Two more. Now, if putting your hand behind your back is too much, just place it on your hip and pull your shoulder blade back. 1 more repetition. And come back down. Either drop the knee down and come here to your hamstring stretch, or back knee can stay up and straighten out that front leg. You can either pull these toes up or you can keep your foot planted onto the mat. Take a nice stretch forward and lengthen that hamstring on the left side. 2 more breaths. One more breath. Now I'm going to walk my hands in towards the middle. So depending on how you are at home, you might need to turn the other way so that you can face the camera. And I'm in a nice wide leg forward fold. And just let your head and shoulders relax here. There's no work. And then bring your hands right to your hips. Soften your knees just a little bit. And use the strength of the back of the legs to pull yourself up into a nice wide leg position. Okay, turning out the right foot, come into Warrior 2. Reach through those fingertips. Good. Shoulders are down. Feel this nice strengthening in the front leg and that right leg. And then reaching your hands behind your back, or you can use your yoga strap. Sometimes it feels nice to hold on to that behind your back because you've got more room to open your hands a little wider if it's difficult for you to interlace your fingers behind your back. And then we'll lift those arms up behind the body, any amount. Bring the shoulder blades back. Tip your right ear towards your right shoulder. Roll down chin to chest. And bring your head back up. Left ear, left shoulder. Roll down. And come up. Good. Just hold that stretch and you can stay upright, or we can take this forward into a bit of a humble Warrior 2. So we reach the head down towards the mat And the arms can lift up, up, up from the back body any amount. And just let gravity create a little bit of traction on your cervical spine. So your head is just relaxing and hanging, enjoying that stretch. One more breath. And then carefully stabilize your core, press yourself up. Nicely done. And relax that strap for a moment. Roll the shoulders. Then we'll pivot this right foot in, pivot the left foot out, and come into your Warrior Two to start. So with a Warrior Two, you want to be sure that the knee is over the ankle. So sometimes this knee wants to migrate in. So you want to press it out towards the pinky toe side of your foot. And if your hips are tight, as mine are, you don't have to have your pelvis directly facing forward. You can have it on whatever comfortable angle allows you to keep this knee over the ankle. Okay, let's bring the hands behind the back. You can either interlace your fingers or take your yoga strap. Pull your shoulder blades back and lift your arms up any amount. Tip your right ear to your right shoulder. Roll down chin to chest. Notice how this affects your balance in this pose. And come back up. Left ear. Roll down. And up. Now either stay here lifted, or we're going to bow this into our humble Warrior Two. So coming forward, stretching through the left glute to the lower back, pulling those arms up, up, up any amount. You can let your hands slide out wider on your yoga strap, or you can clasp a little closer. And let your head completely relax. 2 more breaths. One more breath. And then brace your core, abs and back muscles. Push down into that bent knee foot as you come up. And then release the yoga strap. Take a couple of shoulder rolls here. All right, so we're going to use our yoga strap to help us to connect with the torso in a balanced pose. So bring your feet, you can either heel toe them or step in about hips distance apart. Now, if you need a wall for balance, take it over or a chair so that you've got a little bit of support. But we're going to do a tree pose today with our yoga strap. So what I want you to do is take it about shoulders width apart and pull out. And as soon as you pull, you feel the shoulders, the triceps really engaging, and press your shoulder blades down. So lock your lats into place. We'll ground into the right foot, pick up the left knee, and see if you can balance here. Now, if you need to keep your big toe down to the floor for a little bit of help with that, that's okay too. And then start to turn this knee out using the muscle of this left glute. So we're just going to turn out and then come back to center. Turn out and center. So if you have your big toe on the floor, you're just rotating the knee out with a little bit of a tap into that big toe. Now open that knee as much as you comfortably can and let the foot find the ankle, the inside of your calf muscle, or you can bring it up to your inner thigh, just not pressing right onto your knee joint. Keep pulling out on the strap. Then if you have your balance, the arms come up and you're still pulling outward. This big toe can be on the floor. Pull out, shoulder blades down, abs in. 3 breaths. 2. And on your last exhalation, take your time lowering your arms, bringing your knee in, and setting your foot down. Ooh, I don't know about you, but that just lit up my right ankle muscles and my shin muscle, my hip. Really good strength builder on that supporting leg. Okay, so relax your shoulders for a moment, maybe a couple of shoulder rolls. And then when you're ready, bring those arms out in front of you, not too high, just below the shoulders, and pull out. Zip up this transverse abdominis. Really brace your core. Stabilize into your left leg. Pick up your right knee. And then just rotate out, rotate in. So we're using this muscle in order to find whatever range of motion we have in our hip into that transverse abduction of the thigh. Let's do one more. And then taking that knee out at whatever angle suits your hip flexibility. And then maybe the foot comes to the ankle, the inner part of your shin. Avoid your knee, or the big toe can stay on the mat. Now, once you feel stable, your option is to lift those arms up. You're still pulling on the strap. When you're tensing those muscles and engaging, it helps you with your balance. It firms up so many other little intrinsic muscles that helps to stabilize with your core. 2 more breaths. This is my harder side to balance for sure. 1 more breath. Slowly the arms lower, the knee comes in, and set your foot down. Ooh, at least my legs feel equally tired. On that left side, really felt that one. Couple of shoulder rolls. Beautiful job. Okay, keep your yoga strap handy and then come down onto your mat on your back. We're going to be working on some core strengthening. If you need a little pillow for your head, you can have your blanket there. Sometimes if your head is lifted up a little bit, it helps you to stabilize your abs better. So let's give that a try if you need a little pillow. Then once you come down into your back, you have that yoga strap. You're going to bring your arms right up, about shoulder level or a little lower, and pull outward on the strap to create that tension in the upper back. Bring one knee up to table. Brace your core and bring the other knee up. Now in tabletop, ideally, you don't want to let your knees to start creeping towards you, because then you lose the core connection here. So you want to have those knees about your arm's distance away here, and then it's stacked right over your hips. Now if this is feeling a little bit hard on your back, what you can do is cross your ankles and let your knees open out a little bit and see if that helps for you. And I just want you to hold tabletop. Now see if you can keep your lower back pressed into the floor as you bring your arms any amount up, still pulling out in the strap, and then come back in. Exhale as your arms go up and really press that back down of an imprinted spine. Now if this is too much, you can set your feet on the floor, or you can only hold one knee up in table. So I want you to see what works best for you here. If this is pretty good, you feel like you can go on to the next level. As the arms come up, the right leg extends out. Now I just felt my lower back lift up. So for today, I'm thinking that that's not going to work for me. So what I want to do is take the leg up higher as my arms come over. Because the lower you come down with this leg, the more strenuous it is on your abs. So you can take the leg up. Keep pressing that low back down. If you do this correctly, you might be getting a little shaking in your body right now. Exhale to go long to brace your core. Inhale when you're back into table. Let's do one more on each leg. And are you still pulling out on that yoga strap? And then we'll relax the feet down. And then relax the yoga strap. Bring your arms next to the sides of your body. Turn your palms up. And then walk your feet to where they're touching and your knees are touching. We're going to come up into a very small bridge. Now this bridge is not a back bending bridge. It's a bridge where we're just lifting our hips up a little bit off the mat, squeezing our bum, and then setting your hips back down. So we lift up and down. And if you can keep your knees together and find that inner thigh connection as you come up and down, that's great. And then I want you to see if you can find the Mula Bandha connection, which is a pelvic floor engagement. So as you come up, engage your pelvic floor and come back down. So that's also known in the Western world as a Kegel. In the yoga world, it's engaging your Mula Bandha. It's that lock down into that pelvic floor region. We're squeezing and releasing. Now, this might be where you want to stay. I want to give you the option to go up one more level. So when your hips are down, both feet will be on the mat. As your hips start to lift, pick up the right foot and then come back down and switch, picking up the left foot as your hips lift. So the hips come up a small amount. They go all the way down to touch the mat as you switch legs at the bottom. Now I like to put my hands on my hips here because then I can tell if my pelvis is rotating when I'm doing this and if I'm losing my core connection. Up and down. Bridges are so important for keeping a nice muscular balance in your thighs, your hips, keeping your knee joints strong. Good, let's do one more on each side or two more with both feet down. And then relax those hips down to the mat. Let's cross the right ankle over the left knee for a reclining pigeon or figure four stretch. So before you grab your legs and pull them in, just rest your arms by your side. And I want you to use your abdominals to pull your legs up and bring them toward you. And then keep your abdominals braced as you tap your toe to the mat. Pull it in and tap your toe. Now you can keep your head and shoulders down with this, or bring your fingertips right behind your head, and as you come up with your legs, come up with your shoulder blades and come back down. So we're doing a compound crunch, abdominal curl in a figure four stretch. So each time you come up, you're going to feel this hip stretching and coming down. Two more. Up and down. One more. And down. Now keep your head down. Let your knees come up and go ahead and reach behind and pull in for a nice tight stretch. You can also take a cradle the baby here by wrapping your hands around that leg and letting the other leg lower down towards the mat. So any stretch that you like here for this hip. Just holding a few breaths, lengthening out that muscle, those deep external rotators. We applied a bit of work there today in our tree pose and in our standing strength poses. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. So lower those legs, switch to cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And I like to let this knee open out this way because it helps me to connect with this muscle that I'm going to stretch. Palms are up so you're not using your hands. Engage your abs and pull your legs up to tabletop and then come back down to tap your big toe. So when I'm doing this exercise, I'm actually creating opposing forces here. So I'm pushing up with my right knee as I'm pressing in with my left ankle. So I'm actually pushing my legs towards each other to create that opposing tension and to strengthen. You want to add that upper body. Lift head and shoulders and come down. Now, if when you tap your big toe, your lower back arches up off the mat, then don't come all the way down each time. Just lower those legs a little so you can keep your lower back pressed into the mat and keep that connection. And up and down, 2 more repetitions. And 1 more. Now keep your head down, let those knees come up, pull them in towards you, take your figure 4 stretch here, or your cradle the baby. So with cradle the baby, it's kind of nice. We can either hold on to our shin, let this leg go down because we get a nice stretch through our hip flexor here, or we can wrap the arm around the outside of the leg. If you're pretty flexible, you can take a bind with that movement as well. And then just relax here and enjoy this stretch. Two more breaths. And then lower those legs, uncross the ankles, let the soles of the feet come together, and let your knees open. So we are going to create our own tension in the hips here. So as you inhale, your legs are relaxed. And as you exhale, try to push your knees out. So you'll feel these muscles in the outside of the glutes really switch on. And then relax them as you inhale. Press your knees open as you exhale. And this doesn't have to be a really hard engagement, but just enough so you switch those muscles on. Because we're coming towards the end of our practice here, so we're not working really vigorously. And then if you'd like a little bit more, as you exhale and press your knees open, lift your seat about 1 inch off your mat, and then set it down and relax your knees. Press out, lift your seat up, lower down, and relax. Now sometimes this will elicit a little bit of a cramp in your hamstring, so go really slow, be careful, again, not too vigorous. And this is not a back bend, so we're not trying to arch our back. We're just lifting our hips 1 inch off the mat. And let's do 2 more reps. If it's too intense to lift your hips up, just imagine that you're starting to lift them up because that'll switch into that different muscle engagement. And then relax, close your knees back in. Let's roll over onto your side and take your time to come up to a comfortable seat. So extending the arms, or the legs, out in front of you, lengthen your spine into staff pose. We have the toes pulled up, the spine is nice and long. Now we'll bend the right knee and bring it here. You can have your foot maybe about a fist distance away from the other leg. So you've got a little bit of space between your feet. And then we'll inhale up. And as you exhale, let this right shoulder slide to the inside of your knee and try to reach forward. Now there's a couple of ways we can do this stretch. You might like to grab your yoga strap, and as you come forward, lace it under the bottom of your foot and pull yourself forward. Now we're trying to be sure this knee doesn't go out. I want you to hug it in, and you're engaging the inner thigh of your right leg. So another option is to take a bind with this pose. So depending on how flexible your shoulders are, and we stretch them quite a bit, so you might be able to do this bind. We're going to hinge forward, wrap this right hand behind your thigh, the left hand wraps behind your back until you've got your hands bound together, or you can use your strap behind you and hold this bind. We're pulling this knee in. This can be done straight forward, or you can actually twist your body and rotate out. So lots of options with this stretch. Just a couple more breaths here. Any position that you enjoy in this pose. And then release the bind if you have it behind your back, or release the strap and come up. We'll switch to the other leg. So right leg goes long. Sit tall, left knee bends, and you've got a little bit of separation between your feet. Now, if you're pretty broad-shouldered and it's hard for you to reach in without this knee opening, give yourself some more space. So walk that foot out a little bit further. We'll take a nice breath in. And then exhale, reach forward, maybe using your yoga strap. Or perhaps you can try the bind on this side. Now keep this left inner thigh active by hugging the knee in towards this shoulder. Try not to let it go loose. We can wrap the hand behind and interlace into your bind, either with a forward bend or with a twist. And the yoga strap works really nicely for this one. You can just bring that hand behind, you can get your arm around and find a nice bind here. 2 more breaths. And after that last complete exhalation, release yourself from that pose, releasing the strap, and find a comfortable seat. So we'll close our practice with one more round of our neck movement. So once you find a nice long spine, just relax your hands onto your knees, tip your right ear towards your right shoulder. Slowly roll that chin down towards your chest. Bring your head back up to neutral. And left ear. And roll. And head comes to neutral. We'll take a breath together. Inhale, sweep the arms up. As we press our palms together, bring your thumbs towards your heart center. And I'd like to close our practice today with just a few moments of silence for Dante Wright and his family. And for our beautiful city, of Minneapolis and Brooklyn Center. And for the family of George Floyd. And the light and love and hope for a better world that resides within me honors the light, love, and hope in each of you. Namaste. Thank you for the honor of letting me teach you today. And if anybody has an extra minute, I would love to see how class went for you today. Oh, it looks like Jitsi turned off our recording for us, so that's great. Okay, wow, nice group today. How did we feel, everybody? You can unmute if you want to chat with me for a second. Fern, how did that feel?
Yeah, it was just what I needed.
Oh, that's my favorite thing to hear.
Well, I'll definitely listen to that recording again.
Good, that's awesome, great. And David, how did you feel today?
Very good.
Awesome, continuing to get better. That's good. And Joyce, I see you're with me today. How's your toe? You're still muted, Joyce. So let's see, Carol's on there unmuted. Carol, how did everything feel for you?
Really well. Very good. Very, very good.
Fantastic. Great. And Melissa Borman, how did your shoulder feel? She's had a surgery in the last few months. So how'd that go?
It was good. It's good to do the Chaturangas and to build up that strength again. So
good. And your hair looks cute. You got a little haircut.
Got my hair's cut. Yep. Makes life easier. Yep.
Good. Hey, Nancy, how did you feel?
My neck and shoulders had been really tight, so I was really glad to get those loosened up.
That's fantastic. I am so glad. Esther, good for you?
It wasn't the different ways of doing the Chaturangas, which have always been too challenging for me to really do. And hopefully it'll build strength for me.
Good, good. I think that's, some nice options, and just going small is what we need to keep building strength, and then we'll get there. It's little baby steps, right? Good. I see, Liz, you're on. I know you can't light up your camera. How'd you feel?
Great. The neck stretches really helped a lot, Lisa, so thank you.
That's good. Awesome. We can always use that, right?
Yes.
And Shelly, I see you're still muted, but how did you feel today? Good. If you want to unmute your mic, you can. Still muted. Can you sign language to me? That's okay. I know sometimes technology just, she probably hit the stop button. Well, great job, everybody. Tomorrow I get my second vaccine. So I'm going to teach my 10:30 class as usual, my Aging Strong, but I have to cut it maybe about 5 minutes or so early, so I'll get started right on time. And then I won't be able to chat tomorrow. I'm just going to zip. We have a bit of a drive to go get that shot, but that's okay. It's worth it. So join me tomorrow if you can. Just hand weights and maybe a band if you have a band at home. There's Shelly, you're back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. I thought I was unmuting, and then it was wonderful. Thank you so much. My neck, has been so tight, so that was perfect.
Good. I'm glad. I'm so happy to see you with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. There's a million squads, and there's stuff going on outside of my house, so I kept having to get up for that. But yeah.
Well, everybody be safe. This is a tough time in our city again.
It is.
So,
thanks for the silence and the prayer for everything. Appreciate
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just with us always, isn't it? It's with us in some way. So I love you guys so much, and have an amazing rest of your day. And I hope to see you tomorrow in Aging Strong.
Okay, thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey,
thank
Lisa,
you.
Lisa,
Yes.
I want to just say, if you're up for it, there is a homeopathic remedy called Ledum, Ledum, and it's for puncture. And so, because sometimes the second shot can be a little more,
That's what I'm hearing.
you just take a dose, which is like 2 little pellets, a
Okay.
little bit before your shot, and then a little bit after you can do it again.
Okay.
Ledum.
Can I find that at pretty much any health food store? Or
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, lead them. I'm going to go write that down right now.
30C.
Okay,
30C.
sounds good. If you think about it, Carol, can you send me a quick little email?
Yep.
Okay, that sounds great. We'll give it a try.
Thank you so much.
Love you, and
So good to see people.
you too. And tomorrow it's somebody's special birthday. It's going to be Esther's birthday tomorrow, so
Happy birthday, Esther.
we'll have to sing in Aging Strong tomorrow. The big 7-0.
Yeah. Baby.
All right, you guys, enjoy your day.
Will do.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.